I think that as people become more connected online, masculinity is obviously getting more of a different definition with the combination of different cultures coming together. And Gen Z is one of the first generations to truly grow up on this interconnected internet. And it's leading, this combination melting pot of different cultures is leading to a new definition of masculinity. It's becoming more complex than many brands are prepared to understand, and it makes it way harder to market towards these people if you can't figure out how, if you can't figure out how to market towards them. Ingredient focused fragrance companies are becoming more popular with this movement because a lot of people want to know what they're putting in and around their bodies, because there are like a lot of microplastics, and there's like a lot of concerns about how these things in the environment are affecting your hormones and like what that might do for your body. And some of that concern, I think, is a little bit rooted in some like toxic masculinity, like the people who are afraid to touch receipts because it's going to ruin their testosterone. But I also think there's a valid concern about what people are putting in and around their bodies and how that might have effect on your future health. Especially now, I think that there are a lot of things happening where people are getting pretty sick and not doing as well as they have in the past. And I think that that can be related back to how a lot of these companies aren't creating products that are healthy for individuals to use, but they don't care as long as they make money off of it. One way that people have always tried to advertise consistently for generations is using celebrities that people like and admire to try and convince them that this is what that celebrity does, and if you want to be more like that celebrity, then you should purchase our product. And the same is true when trying to market towards Gen Z men. People want to be associated with their role models and make it seem like they are just like them. And if celebrity endorsement doesn't work, some people like humor in their marketing. They like brands that make them laugh, and because that makes you feel good and you want to buy products from a company that makes you feel good. Maybe you don't even recognize that that's why you're seeking out their products, but it creates a better attitude between the consumer and the company that's producing the products. An affordable luxury is just the idea of like, oh, this is so high end, but you can afford it too. And stuff that was only originally supposed to be just for the ultra rich is actually attainable for the average Joe if you just try hard enough. And I think that that has its benefits because it makes people feel better about what they're buying. It feels like they're getting a better deal off of the products that they're purchasing. But I also think that there is some, it's just about manipulation. And I mean, often I guess maybe what is marketing if not trying to manipulate a person to buy your product specifically. But I think that there is a specific type of unethical marketing that makes people feel bad about not purchasing a product, and therefore they need it. And I think that that's how a lot of companies have marketed towards women for a really long time. And I feel like they are realizing now in the modern era that if you give people insecurities and you really make them feel awful about stuff, you can sell them the solution and make a lot of money, even if you're like low key ruining people's self image. Often the companies that drive or profit so much from insecurity are like skincare, makeup lines, and they're like, oh, you should probably want to cover up those pores. And people are like, whoa, I didn't even know that those were something that I should want to cover up. Why would I want to do that? And it just makes you aware of something that maybe you never would have been insecure about, but now you should be because everyone's concerned about it, aren't they? Or at least that's what these brands are trying to make people feel. And it's like, I'm not saying that nobody's ever stinky and that nobody ever needs perfume, but I do think that most of the time people just kind of smell like people, long as they're like using deodorant properly and showering often enough. And it's like the people that are using perfume sometimes smell way worse after the fact, or like when they use perfume. And that's just because I think a lot of perfume is way overpowering. But I think excess fragrance is not a great thing, and I think that it is potentially harmful to people at large.